what does leadership mean to me? I think leadership means listening to people. I think leadership means being tough when you have to. I think leadership means guidance to staff and council as well, and mainly a guidance through leading by example. And that to me is what leadership is. And like I said, I think the most important part of that is listening.
Lac Ste. Anne County is a place where rural life, agriculture, tourism, and growth all meet. But keeping a community like this moving forward isn't simple. Behind the quiet roads and beautiful lakes are decisions about infrastructure, development, services, and the future of a changing municipality. Today, on Cross Border Interviews, we sit down in person with Lac Ste. Anne County Reeve Jurgen Preugschas. We'll talk about what it's really like to lead a rural municipality, the challenges facing the county, the opportunities ahead, and the role tourism could play in its future. It's a conversation about leadership, community, and the place people call home. I'm Christopher Brown, and this is Cross Border Interviews. What happens when Alberta's municipal leaders look back 1 year after the 2025 municipal elections? Well, this October, the Cross Border Network invites you to two very special live conversations exploring the state of Alberta's municipalities. Join us Sunday, October 18th in Edmonton and Saturday, October 24th in Calgary as we examine how municipal politics has evolved, the challenges and opportunities facing local governments, and how provincial municipal relations are shaping communities across this great province. Our special guest lineup will be announced throughout this coming month on this show. And with a portion of every ticket sold supporting the Brain Tumor Foundation of Canada, your ticket helps make a difference. Tickets are now on sale, and you can get them by visiting crossbordernetwork.ca and be part of this upcoming October conversation. Reeve, thank you so much for sitting down with me and talking about yourself and talking about the beautiful Lac Ste. Anne County. But before we talk about the county, I want to get to know the man behind the persona a little bit, if you don't mind, with a very simple question. Where did your sense of duty to serve your community come from?
Oh, good question. First of all, it's great to have you come out here and interview me and be interested in the county of Lac Ste. Anne. But my interest in serving probably began when I was a little kid and I joined the 4-H club when I was 12 years old. And that really is what brought me to the sense of doing stuff for the community, with the community, and just plain learning about, let's say, politics in a small way.
I did a bit of research on you, and your career trajectory would not have suggested to me that you ever thought you would ever be Reeve of the county. What made you decide municipal politics was where you wanted to serve your community?
Well, that came quite late.
I can imagine about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, maybe a little more than that. But when I saw how our county was functioning and some of the decisions that were being made, it got my hair standing up. And so when the county made a decision, or was going to make a decision, of overtaxing, and I think unrightfully taxing the larger landowners, a group of us got together. We had a meeting. I was part of that as well. And we all came, or about 75 people came to a council meeting. And at that point, I made a decision that I'm going to come and listen to every council meeting that I can possibly attend. And for the next year, I sat on a chair back there and listened. They would never let me talk, but I listened. And I had some feedback from some people that said, when I was sitting there, council spoke different than when I wasn't in the room. And that told me even more that we had a dysfunctional council. And I looked for someone to run because at my age, I felt I shouldn't really be doing this, but I couldn't find anyone that had a thick enough skin to do what I felt had to be done in this county. And so in August of last year, I made the decision that I was going to put my name forward, and ended up where we are now.
So you seem like an authentic guy. You seem like someone who, unlike what you said, you'll say something when no one's here, the same as if someone was here.
Absolutely.
Where does that come from? Mom and dad?
I think it's a combination of many things. My father was a very strong individual as well, and he always said, tell the truth, tell it the way you think it is, and you can always defend it. And I try to live by that motto.
Really?
Yes.
Is it hard?
I don't think so. I think if that's what you believe, then it isn't so hard.
Yeah.
If you believe you have to tell things and cover things up, then that's harder because you don't remember what you said. But if it's the truth, I think it's an easier way.
I want to talk about the role of council for a few minutes, if you don't
Sure.
mind, because unlike you were a keen observer of municipal politics before entering into politics. And I would say there's a large portion of our society, and this is not a slight against anyone, I think it's a cross-Canada issue right now, that they don't traditionally understand the role that the municipality plays in their day-to-day lives. How often do you find yourself as Reeve, as even a local councillor, dealing with issues that residents are bringing to you that are not traditionally in the municipal jurisdiction?
That really varies. I thought while I was campaigning, there was a lot of that, people talking about provincial stuff or federal stuff, and which I was pretty well versed in as well. My life has been more working with provincial and federal and international politics rather than municipal. So I was comfortable talking about those things, but I was also very aware that is not what municipal council did. So I would deflect it, and I still get some of that, and especially now with the discussion on what's Alberta going to do? Are we going to have a vote on separation or that? That is not municipal politics, but I'm more than willing to talk to people about it. And I think ultimately people understand that is not the realm that we are in municipal politics.
On the flip side, how often are you finding that people just want to be heard? Because it seems like...
Always. I think speaking to people and speaking to people honestly is the key, and telling them what's going on as well. We have a motto here now, this new council, is that if we can't talk about it, we shouldn't be doing it. And I feel very strongly in that, because it's too easy to hide behind that, we can't tell you. I think we can just about tell you anything, except for if it becomes legal or if it's personnel, absolutely not. Or if you're working on a contract. I quite clearly say, I can't talk about it right now. We're working on it. I'll let you know later. But then you have to talk about it at some time. And I think, again, it's that honesty and respecting the people that come to talk to you. That's that respect that we show back is as critical as the respect that we expect from them.
And there's a sense, and this is from my conversations with Reeves and mayors and elected officials across Canada, that you have to be authentically honest with them. You can't BS them and say, we'll look into it, even though you know for a fact the municipality can't do anything about it, or you as an individual councillor. Is it hard to be honest with an electorate that wants so much right now? And I don't say just for Lac Ste.
Yeah, I think it is something that takes some time.
Yeah.
And I think it's the way I deal with it is if somebody calls me, I will certainly have the discussion. I will say, I'm going to bring it forward. I'll put it into the right channels, and I or somebody else will get back to you. Now, you might not like the answer because we're not going to satisfy everyone. We're going to do what's right, and that may or may not fit in what you think is right. And so I'm quite honest. I try to limit the expectations of what is going to happen. And the other thing I think that electors or ratepayers sometimes maybe don't understand is that usually they want lower taxes is on the top of their mind. But every time they ask a question and want an answer and want something done, that affects the budget. I don't care how small it is. And that is some of the things I also tell them. Say, remember that when you're asking for an extra snowplow to do your driveway because of whatever the reason happens to be, it's usually a good reason, it is going to affect the budget. And so don't come back next week and say the taxes are too high. So, it's an understanding of that every time you demand something, it has an effect on something else as well, and mainly the financial side.
Okay, so there's a question I want to ask, and I want to word it correctly, so I apologize if I have to do it in 2 takes, but I'm going to try it in 1. Your role of a counselor, because you are a counselor first, and you were elected as Reeve on by these people, is to represent everyone, even the people who did not vote for you.
Sure.
And I can imagine, I'm not going to burst your bubble when I say this, is not everyone agrees on 100% of the issues. Oh, you walk outside right now and say the sky is blue, they'll say no, it's gray, cloudy, overcast, so on and so forth. How do you make the best decision knowing that 100% of the people will never be in favor of what you've agreed upon?
Well, I think that's true in life in general.
True.
So I think if you ever think you're going to make everyone happy, including in your home, it isn't. You can't achieve that. But by doing what you believe is right and having an open mind to input and not come in with saying that's the way it's going to be regardless of what somebody tells me, I think that's how you deal with that. And be quite open. Say, I know not everyone agrees with this, but this is the best for our county. We have an issue in our county where we're a very diverse county with agriculture in the West End and mainly acreages and basically city folk in the East End. And the demands are very, very different. And so it's a challenge every meeting to balance the needs or wants of those 2 different, or more than 2, but there's certainly 2 really strong differences and communities that don't even know each other. So I'm learning about the other part of the county. The other councillors are learning from my part of the county. And then we have to balance all of that and make decisions that are just the right decisions, even though we know it isn't going to satisfy everyone.
How often do you find yourself, and I'm going to put it in the country mouse, city mouse type of question here, but you're right. You're not going to know every issue that's going on in every single ward in this county, and that's why you have an eclectic group of people sitting around this table. Exactly. How often do you find yourself asking your fellow counselor, what's actually going on in this issue in your ward right now? Because when I have to make my vote, I have the same weight of vote as this person who's being affected by it. So do you find yourself being drawn into conversations that you might not have traditionally thought about even a year and a half ago before getting elected?
Yeah, I want to say yes and no on that. That does not surprise me. First of all, because I sat in on meetings and discussions that had very little discussion, and I would have thought there should have been more. So my council here is a council that asks questions on everything, and which I think is really, really good. We don't agree on everything, not even close, but in most instances, we come up with a joint decision through discussion, through tough questions to administration. And I always say to my fellow councillors is that keep an open mind. Don't come to a meeting knowing I'm going to vote this way. I like to come to a meeting, hear what everyone has to say, hear what the public has to say if it's one of those cases, and then we make the best decision.
So you bring up a good point, because we all technically have our own unconscious biases.
Absolutely.
Especially in day-to-day issues. Yep. But when you walk through that door, or whatever door you walk into when you come to this council, all those biases have to be foregone. How often do you find yourself being swayed by other people's opinions when you hear them? You go, oh, I didn't think about it that way, because you do have to keep an open mind. And as Reeve, you really have to keep an open mind, because some people are looking at you as, okay, which way are we going to go here?
Well, I think it happens quite often. And I think I do it intentionally. I try to live by the fact that I don't come here with a preconceived decision. I have my preconceived opinions for sure, and I will share them.
Yeah.
But if council chooses to go a different direction, and through arguments that make sense, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Because I do believe it's critical in our democratic system, if we believe in a democratic system, that everyone should have a similar voice or the same strength of voice, and that you then come up with the best solution. I know a dictatorship is more efficient because you just tell everyone what to do, but it is a system that I don't want to be part of.
So your council voted for you,
yes,
to be Reeve.
Right.
This is a unique council for Lac Ste, because this is an entirely new council.
Absolutely. Every
single person around here sitting here, first time, never been elected.
Exactly.
What does leadership mean to you?
What does leadership mean to me? I think leadership means listening to people. I think leadership means being tough when you have to. I think leadership means guidance to staff and council as well, and mainly a guidance through leading by example. And that to me is what leadership is. And like I said, I think the most important part of that is listening.
As they always say, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You listen twice as much as you talk, right?
Well, it isn't always easy.
True that. Yeah. Now, I want to turn to the county as a whole. And before I do this, I do have a bit of a preamble, so bear with me for 2 seconds.
Sure.
This is a conversation between the Reeve and myself. This is not a motion of council, not a direction of council, not even a policy of council. He sits around this table with 7 others.
6 others.
6 others plus the Reeve, 7 council members, and he needs a majority of council members around this table to vote in favor or against any motion, policy, or bylaw, to direct administration to implement or rescind any motion, policy, or bylaw. Done that a few times. Okay. So, Reeve, in your opinion, as of recording this in 2026, the summer of 2026, what is the biggest challenge facing Lac Ste. Anne County today?
I think the biggest challenge for us has been that we're new, that we're learning, and that we've got a huge new staff as well. So that is the biggest challenge just to start with. The other big challenge is to get our finances in order. We're, if you will, a bit of a have-not county in terms of very little industrial development, and therefore our taxation is stressed and maybe higher than we'd like to see it on agriculture and on small businesses and homes. So that is a challenge. How do we get our administration or our services more efficient to be able to keep our taxes in line? And that is, and there's quite a different feeling on our council. Everything from we should be dropping the taxes by 20% to hey, let's back up a little bit and let's have a look and what can we do. So that is probably right now our biggest challenge. The part of that is we want our county to be a home for more industrial development. And so how do we do this? Our county doesn't have the best name in terms of being open for business. And we've spent a lot of time discussing that, and it's in our vision and mission statements that and our strategic plan that we want to show the rest of the world that we are open for business, that we're going to do it in a sustainable fashion. I know that's a word everybody uses, but we're quite serious on it. We don't want to push stuff into areas where maybe they shouldn't be, but we do encourage some development here because of the location we're at between Edmonton and Grand Prairie. It's a corridor where we probably have that. So how do we do that? That's a big challenge. How to get the right businesses here that will help all of our residents.
So there's about 60 different questions I can follow up on that statement. Sure. And I'm going to try and ask them all in the next few minutes with you. I want to start at the beginning because you talked about new council, semi-new administration. That means squat. And I mean this respectfully to the people outside in Lac Ste. County. They're saying, we don't care if you're new. You wanted this job. So therefore, even if you're new, get your butts in gear and serve the people that have elected you.
Yes.
How's the last year been?
I think it's been really successful. I really think that for a council that is brand new and I mean, I've had some experience in boards and that sort of stuff and with government. So I think I sort of understood what we were getting ourselves into. But we've got some really good council members that have never sat on any boards. And so this is brand new to them. And for us to pull together the way we have and achieve what we have, starting with the hiring of Ann Mitchell as our CAO, and what has happened together with her, I think our trajectory is really, really good. And when I talk to my ratepayers, they also feel that just the way things are happening in our county office when they relate and phone in, they just feel like they're being heard and listened to and stuff being done. So I'm excited about how far we've moved.
Seems like only good things are coming out of it, but it's still growing pains at the same time.
Hey, not everything is perfect.
What? What? You're a Reeve. You're supposed to say everything is perfect in Lac Ste. County, okay?
Yeah. Talk to God and ask him why we got all the rain. Yeah, and which is fine. We learned stuff from that, which isn't all bad either. I mean, was it tough on staff? Absolutely. Was it tough on residents? For sure. But I think we're going through this good as well. And with the help of the province, hopefully, a lot of the repairs can get done. And we're thankful that we didn't get as flooded as bad as Edmonton or other areas.
I want to pick up on a word that you used, and you're the very first Reeve that I've ever heard use the word. So it stuck with me. You're a self-described have-not county.
Yes.
Which is rare because a lot of, and I'm not pitting this as an urban versus rural thing, but a lot of people would say rurals have all the money
and urbans have all the issues. But you're saying you don't have all the money and you don't have all the solutions to the issues that you're faced with. And you're trying to keep taxes low, which I think every resident who hears that or taxpayer goes, thank God, because Reeve wants to keep our taxes low. I'm happy. But after you're sitting in this office, you have no control at the end of the day at the final number that goes on that property tax bill. You have provinces downloading on you. You have the federal government downloading on you, but you have to make it work. Has it been hard to try to become a have county while so many external factors are playing against you?
Yeah, I think that question's a little early for us because some of the things in government, whether it's municipal, provincial, or federal, take a long time to work through.
Yeah.
And even for us, I was talking about the efficiencies in our management and in delivering our services. That's going to take a couple of years to flow through till we even decide exactly where we want it to go. So, I don't want anyone to believe that that's something we can do immediately because it just
You're
takes
telling
time.
me how the sausage is made there, Reeve, and I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah,
It takes time to make a sausage in Lac Ste.
It does. Hey, I make sausages at home too, so I'm not. Anyway, the fact of the matter is that all those changes take time.
Yeah.
And I think we've made massive steps. I really do. And I wasn't sure we'd be able to make that many changes, positive changes, in that short a time. And, talking about, you brought it up, the rural versus urban, we actually face that in our county a little bit because the people living on acreage in the east side, they work in the city, they want sort of the same services but live in the country. And that's
same services for half the cost though too.
I think it's wonderful that they want that because I've lived in the country all my life and I would never want to be living in the city, but that's just me. And for people to move out and have that rural lifestyle I totally get it. But you also at that point have to say, hey, there's some things I got to give up as well because we all live further apart. It means our roads, we have twice as many or 10 times as many miles of road for the same number of people. Well, probably way more than 10 times as many, probably 100 times as many. So those costs are more per capita than they are in a city setting or an urban setting. So, and we deal with a lot of small hamlets. We're struggling trying to give them the services that they really need because it's a money thing. And so these are things that we have to work at and balance. You talk about challenges. That's one of our big challenges is to bring our small hamlets up to a standard that we'd like to see them.
Because I'm assuming, and I am not trying to throw any provincial government under the bus here with this question, but I'm assuming LGFF does squat for a community of your size.
Well, the most disappointing thing for me is we meet with the ministers, we meet with others. Let's use bridges for an example. We have some of the largest number of bridges in a county in this province, and we get no funding for fixing these 100-year-old bridges. We're refused again this year. We only want to do 2 or 3 a year.
Whoa, that's 2 or 3 more than we can afford, though.
Than we can afford, but the province, I don't know, for whatever reason, and I don't want to throw them under the bus, but at least I would think we should get 1 or 2 a year, but we're getting none. And so then we have to make the decision, do we pull $500,000 out of our regular budget just to fix bridges? So these are some really big challenges for us.
I was talking to Josh Bishop, the Reeve of the County of Wetaskiwin, just probably in the last few months. And he was saying this exact same issue, that counties are now dealing with the fact that you might have to just not fix a bridge and close it up. And that means farmers, that means residents will have to drive 20 to 30 minutes outside their way just to get outside. Yeah. A bridge is a need. I'm not trying to be as rude as possible here. A bridge is a need. Some of the services are maybe wants. How do you balance that? And do you find that you're able to, and I know it's only been a year and I know I'm putting the cart before the horse here a little bit, but do you find you're getting a spot right now where you're putting the needs of the actual needs of the county ahead of the wants of the county?
Okay, we're in that process.
Yeah.
We're in the process right now. We had a discussion, just council, of what are the priorities in each of our divisions.
Yeah.
Because
divisions, yes. I called them wards.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's critical for each councillor to know what is most important in their division. And then we have to discuss it together and say, okay, we've got these 30 priorities, and then what order are we going to put them in? And then we can also be open with our ratepayers and say, okay, your bridge or your road, it's on the list, but it's number 29, right? So that might happen in 3 or 4 years, or 5 or 10, and whatever that particular list is. And I don't believe we've really had that before, and that's what we're trying to do. And we're not there yet, because you can imagine that's a really difficult job.
Well, it all comes down to a good asset management program as well.
And that's one that I think our county struggled with, where there was no real asset management plan. And we've asked management now to put that plan together for us and bring it to us, that we can see what it is and know where we're moving ahead in the future.
So I'm very cautious of time. There's one area I want to talk about before we turn to my second last question in the segment.
Sure.
And that is, you talk about business investment, attracting businesses to Lac Ste. County. Screw it. I'm going to ask the political question. If you want me to cut it, I'll cut it. There's been a lot of talk over the last few months, probably last few weeks, about that age-old data center issues. Should data centers come? And more data centers are looking for counties and rural areas to put in place. What type of businesses are you looking for? Is it any? Are you open to any? Are you open to hearing from any businesses? Or is there a specific type of business that Lac Ste. County is trying to attract right now?
Okay,
there's a 2-question part, and I started with a very hot topic, and I apologize. But if a data center came in tomorrow and said, we want to set up in Lac Ste. County, would you hear them out?
I think we'd hear anyone out, Chris. But I think a data center would be difficult in this county. We've discussed it a little bit. Should we put it in our bylaws? I think we've got there's a pretty big division just amongst council. Okay. So I would say, I will talk about any, but that one might be a tough fit for our county here.
So then on the flip side, what type of businesses are you hoping to attract? Well, is it the mom and pop shops?
It can be anything. We've got, we're on a corridor here, a business corridor, as I mentioned before, between Edmonton and Grand Prairie. The Highway 43 cuts right through the middle of our county. So we've got rail tracks going that same stretch, at least as far as Whitecourt, and discussion of maybe expanding that. So we've got our county could become something similar to that Calgary-Edmonton corridor. So I think we have to sell ourselves as the ability to whatever you want to put in, as whether it's manufacturing or whether it's your oil and gas service industries, and that we can accommodate that. And it doesn't have to be a mega project. And I think, and part of the reason it shouldn't be I'm not saying shouldn't be, it could be, but it doesn't have to be. I think mega projects, it's good to have areas where they go. And can I bring up something that's
It's your interview. Go ahead.
A bit of a pet peeve of mine is I believe mega projects tax revenue shouldn't only stay in those counties. I think mega projects need to be shared amongst all counties. And I know that may not be the political view of everyone, but I don't mind saying the way it is. I think mega projects are necessary, but everybody also has to benefit from them. Now, the bulk should stay with the county it's in, absolutely, or the jurisdiction it's in. But some of that should be shared amongst others because, whatever it is, if that data center that's going in Sturgeon County, the pipeline goes through us, so it disrupts us a lot. And we do get a little bit of tax revenue from that, but not a whole lot. And these big projects or a big a refinery, I think some of that funding should be shared with the other counties in the province, because a lot of the product comes from under our soil, and we get very, very little benefit.
You just made my job a lot harder at RMA this year in Edmonton, right? Now I'm going to ask every single Reeve that I come across, do you agree with the Reeve of Lac Ste County? And I can imagine the conversations I'm going to
Well, imagine the calls I'm going to get after you this.
I want to flip the original question on its head, because we often only talk about the challenges that are going on in our communities, but we have things that we can be proud of.
Yeah.
What is the thing that you wake up and you say, I'm dang proud to represent the people of Lac Ste County?
Well, and that's a great question, because I am proud. I live in the Merithorpe area. I've lived in the county of Lac Ste. Since I was 13 years old.
I think 1976, if I read
61.
I knew I was going to be wrong, so why not even try that, Chris?
1961, we moved to a farm outside of Merithorpe to this county. So okay. I've been there before Lac Ste. was a county. They became a county in 69, I believe it is. And yes, I always describe our county, or at least where I'm at, we've got, and I'll get to that afterwards, the East End, but the West End is an area that is absolutely beautiful, with a parkland type of a view, rolling hills and trees and functional agriculture. Not the very best soil in the province, but good enough to make a good living in agriculture. Yet we're in a scenic area close to the mountains. In fact, I'm going there riding tomorrow or today in the mountains. It's only a two-hour drive to get there. And then on the east side, we have the beautiful lakes and beaches, and it's close to the city, where we get all sorts of subdivisions now with people that can enjoy the country life and be close to recreational areas. So yes, it's a lovely, lovely county to be in. Our MLA calls it God's country. I happen to agree with him. I think it is. It was made by him in a very lovely way.
So you kind of picked up on my last segment, and it's about tourism, because I don't think we do a good enough job talking about the things outside of the provincial agenda on tourism, and that's Jasper, Banff, and Drumheller. Don't get me wrong, they're beautiful locations. If I was to take a day trip up to Lac Ste. County and visit, which I am, what should I do? What should someone see while they're in the county? Is there a place that you would recommend to someone right now? And I know that's a little bit of a Sophie's Choice question, but you've got to have that one little item in the back of your head that said, you have to see this.
Well, quite often what I've done, I get a lot of visitors from Europe, And when I bring them back from the airport, and if I have enough time, I drive through Alberta Beach along the along Lac Ste, just to show them our lake there. I do that quite regular. I've done that for 50 years.
Oh.
And then we have a thing called George Pegg Botanic Gardens. It's an older fella that loved botanics, and he passed away, and the county has that, or I'm not sure even if the county owns it or a society owns it, and they run that. It's a beautiful botanic garden there by Glen Nevis. And then if you come further west here, I mean, just here in Sangudo, if you drive a little bit further, they have a beautiful entrance way there, the elevator clock.
I was literally just telling one of your staff members that I think it's probably one of the best welcome signs that I've ever seen in all of Alberta, and I've seen almost all of them.
It is absolutely exceptional, and we thank our veterinarian that was in Sangudo. It was his vision, and he helped build that. So it's just a great thing. And then you go further to Mayerthorpe. Now that's Mayerthorpe's a several different jurisdiction, but the Fallen Four Memorial Park. It's not only does it give some history of us, which history we wish we wouldn't have, but history that is there, and that is a very worthwhile place. There's many other places to go to as well. I mean, the Paddle Valley, just driving around the county is fulfilling. And this year, everything's so green. It's just the whole summer has been beautiful. Yeah. We have a couple of beautiful campgrounds. The dam at Rochford Bridge, beautiful campsites there. Lessard Lake campsite. It just goes on and on.
Where do you go to decompress?
I ride my horses at home.
Okay.
I
you kept
ride
on saying
down
ride. I'm like, is he talking about motorcycles? Is he talking about ATVs? But it is horses you're riding.
Horseback. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. We ride horses all the time, and yeah, it's to me, and just being on the farm, I decompress. Yeah.
Final question, and I realize I've taken up a little bit more time than I anticipated, so thank you so much for bearing with us. I want you to sum up the last 40 minutes, if you don't mind. What makes Lac Ste. Anne County such a great place to live, to work, and to raise a family?
Well, people for sure, and I think that's true anywhere. The people make the place, and we have wonderful people in this county. The scenery, the beauty of our county is, I think it's second to none. I mean, for sure, the mountains are maybe more scenic, but our area is every bit as beautiful and as anywhere else. It's a place that you can raise a family. You can raise a family in small town Alberta. We have beautiful towns, Mayerthorpe, Onaway, Alberta Beach. We have a bunch of summer villages around.
I just found out today, 13.
12, I think it is.
12?
12 summer village. I think it's 12.
12 or 13.
Yeah. Anyways, it's more than any other county has.
Yes.
So it's a challenge as well. So,
I can imagine your ICF file folder of just how many you have to deal with every year.
I know. It's taken up a bunch of time. So really that and just seeing the cattle, the cattle industry is big here. I'm a pig farmer. I happen to be about the only pig farmer left in this county of any size. But the cattle, seeing them on the fields is just uplifting and heartwarming, and the good hunting as well. We have great hunting in this county. So there's so many things.
Well, Reeve, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for sitting down with me and doing this. I'm so glad we were able to connect, and so glad we were able to do this in beautiful Lac Ste. Anne County. I always find myself in awe when I drive through it, because I always learn something and I always see something that I never saw before. Right. So thank you so much for the invite, and thank you so much for doing this.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. Really appreciate you coming out and spend some time here. That's great.
And that concludes this edition of Cross Border Interviews. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with us as we continue to bring you the stories, the discussions, and the decisions that impact municipalities and communities across our great country. If you enjoyed today's program, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss an upcoming episode. And if you are a municipally elected official anywhere in Canada and are interested in being part of the cross-border interviews, we would love to hear from you directly. Email us at info@crossbordernetwork.ca or visit us on our website at www.crossbordernetwork.ca. On behalf of everyone here at the Cross Border Network, thank you for watching and your continued support. We will be back with a brand new edition of Cross Border Interviews shortly. Until then, I'm Christopher Brown. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.